Fans, welcome to Sports Chat. We're here at Jason's video, adjacent to lovely Papa John's today. I got a bit to talk about. The Cougars got a big win against Central Friday night. Of course, they traveled down the road to the Big AC this week.
Central game similar to last year in the outcome as closeness, but it was not as close really as the score indicated. Most of the game, Campbell County enjoyed a 3-score lead, including most of the second half. They kind of took their foot off the gas, I guess you would say, toward the end of the third quarter. Coach Price admitted that he did and started trying to run clock a bit too early with a 3-score lead, and it got the offense a bit out of rhythm. And Central, pretty good offensive team. They're running the spread this year now, and
They still have one of those two backs from last year, too.
yeah, still have a good running back. It's just Central wasn't easy to stop, and so the Cougar offense suddenly, it got bogged down a little bit in the last, 10 minutes of the game. Central scored a touchdown with a minute to go to get within 8, but couldn't recover an onside kick. Campbell County never trailed in the game. The game was tied at 0-0 and then 7-7. Then Campbell County burst out to a 28-7 lead. Central could not cover Campbell County's receivers, especially in the first half. They were constantly behind the Central secondary. Joseph Elkins made some spectacular catches. They brought the beast package back in again and let Trey Torres run it, and he scored 2 rushing touchdowns.
It was an all-around good night for the offense. The big thing, Jeffers' numbers again were off the charts.
At the half, Jeffers was 10 for 10 for 263 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And dating back to, I believe, the Cumberland Gap game, because I know for certain that he threw a touchdown pass in his last play in the Cumberland Gap game. He had completed at least, I believe, 25 or so passes in a row dating back to the Cumberland Gap game, and just that's a mind-boggling stat against anybody to be able to complete more than 10, 15. But that's T. Martin set an NCAA record a few years ago, which I think has been surpassed. And I think he completed 23 in a row, something along those lines. It's just a mind-boggling stat to be able to complete over 20 passes in a row over a span of multiple games.
Also, this last week in an early Egg Bowl, Jacksboro defeated La Follette for the 4th year in a row. Kept that trophy.
Jacksboro, just they have more talent again than La Follette.
Drew Jordan ran like a machine that game.
Had a few more playmakers. La Follette kept it close and had some opportunities, that were there, but just a few penalties, a drop pass or two, and a little more high scoring than I thought it was going to be. But I had the final margin of around 12 to 14 points, which ended up being around that margin. So just a few more points on both sides of the ball from each team. But La Follette, they look like they're steadily improving. Jacksboro, got a good shot at being a contender again this year for that district title situation. I'm not sure how exactly the playoffs will work out this year, but I'm certain that Jacksboro probably going to make it, probably get the top 3 seed along with Donut, and if they're still in the district north.
And of course, there's the big game coming up.
That's
Battle of last year's co-champions.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge game Friday night. It's not a season-defining game by any means. I mean, as we saw last year, you can win or lose. The winner or loser of that game is still going to be in fine shape for a potential district title. They're still going to be in fine shape for the playoffs. It's a big game. It may be you never know with the new districts. It may be the last game we play against Anderson County for a while. You just never know how that series is going to go. I know our coaches want to keep the game, but I'm not sure how much on the other side, whether they will want to or not.
And Anderson County will have a little bit less leeway to work with because they will be in a 6 or 7 team district. We're going to be in a 5 team.
Yeah, well, there'll only be 4 other teams in our district, so we'll see if it continues after this year or not. I'll say this, and this is the first time that any coaching staff or any group of players can say this. With a win against Anderson County, Campbell County, they'll be the first group of players that defeated every other foe in the district. Even in Wells' great years, and Wells had some very great years here, Campbell County was never able to defeat every team in the district.
Right.
Couldn't get past Kingsport Dobbins Bennett at the time.
Right. They were quite the roadblock, and I mean, much of the same way that Oak Ridge was for years. We finally got over the Oak Ridge.
But with that win over Oak Ridge last year and the win over Powell, Campbell County has now beaten Clinton, Halls, Carnes, Gibbs. Just if they can beat AC, they will beat all the other teams in the district. And it will be the first graduating class and the first set of coaches to ever say that no matter who the teams were in the district at the time, they were able to beat all of them over the course of their career.
Now, one of the big things that happened this week, we started a contest. This last week was whoever picked how many points Campbell County was going to score. That was a 6-way tie. Travis Tierney actually won the drawing. But there will be another contest announced this week, Tuesday on the Times. It'll be announced before this is probably uploaded. But
come down here. It's all the videos you want here at Jason's Video surrounding us right now.
Hey, you can just see all this. And these are older movies, classic movies, stuff you can't get in a red box.
Yeah, we're in the horror section right now, and Halloween is coming up pretty soon. So,
and there's a bunch of Michael Myers behind you, a bunch of Freddy Krueger, and I believe I got some Jason and several Dracula movies by me, and Paranormal Activity. So this is a place to be for all your Halloween movie needs.
It's one little strip. You come down here, you get your pizza, get your video. You're good for a week. Jason has great rates, great people working for him, great. He can get what you need. So come down, get your pizza, do that, get some Papa John's, and be ready to watch the Cougars on Friday nights.
Fans, we're going to go ahead and cut it a little short this week. We've got to get ready for Dreadwood, our charity haunted house, but we'll see you next week.